Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are, everybody. This is LSP here for another day of trading. So as you can see, last week was indeed a very good week, as in not only the highest single day profit but also the highest weekly profit since I have started this, which is excellent. We will definitely go into each of the trades on both the 24th and the 26th and dive into how and what I did. So as you can see here, this is the trade from the 24th. Not this one, because I am looking at a few different ones. This one is PAYS. At the very beginning I was focused on this one, but then I seen the MACD was overextended. You can see how much far apart the orange and the blue line there is. The RSI has just hit over 70. It is coming down to the resistance point to act as support, but I just didn't really feel like I wanted to trade that one. So I'm looking at different ones here, and I noticed the RBNE MACD is only just crossed over. The RSI is a little bit extended, but I'm not interested in that. I'm looking at the level 2 with the bid and asks, and there's a lot of people bidding as well. So you can see now that this is just bouncing off the support, and you can see I just purchased 10% of my buying power. As it bounces off the support, it's going again, it's bouncing off that support again, just for that confirmation that it's holding that level. And I bought another 10% there and another 10% there, and you can see it starts rising. And now I've just bought, I'm in 40% of my buying power right now, and then it starts to climb up a little bit more, and I just bought my entire buying power. So now I'm just waiting here. You can see I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down. It kind of bounces on that support line, which I'm quite happy about, because it is doing higher lows and lower highs as well. So I'm just waiting for that. I'm still not down on my max loss, and then it just climbs. I've sold 10%, and I sell another 20%, and you can see overall right now I am now $170 up. I sell another 10%, waiting for it to climb if it does, but it actually didn't. It pulled back, and then I'm just waiting to see now if it does, but again it doesn't climb back up, so I'm not happy with that, and I sell out the entire position. I did take a little bit of a loss from the max win I did get, but that's okay. So as you can see, this is the trade on the 26th, and I'm looking at a few different trades here. You can see I'm just flicking through to see what is happening, but I stopped on EIQ in the end, and I can see that it popped all the way up, and I drew these resistance support lines. I can't remember when, but it just goes ahead and just bounces right off that resistance line, pulls right the way back down, and then actually again bounces off that resistance line once more. What I am waiting for here is I'm waiting for it to go down and hit that support line and the 20 EMA if it reaches that line, but it actually doesn't. You can see that it's pulling back. It's got a bit of strength, and I'm looking at the level 2 at the same time, and that level 2, what that level 2 is saying is that there's a lot more. I know it's obviously going a lot quicker on the video now, but there's a lot more buyers than there is sellers. So I can see, I'm waiting to see if it holds that support line, and I just add in a tiny 10% position there, and it pulls right the way up, and I add in 20 more percent, and then it rips all the way up, and I'm buying it in. I'm all the way in. I'm full buying power now. But what I should have done is waited for this candle to pull right the way back down. As you can see, it pulled all the way back down, and I bought in at 875 right at the top. That was a kind of lesson I learned. I should have waited for that to come back down, to pop right above that resistance line. So I'm waiting here to see if it does rip up, and the only reason why I'm not out, and I did have a 5% limit on, and I do go over that, is because there's so much buying power in this. I can see it on the level 2 how much buying power there is, so I do have to wait a couple minutes for this to kind of act, and it hits that resistance line. That resistance line now becomes a support line. Okay, so that's at least what I'm waiting for. It doesn't happen just yet, but you can see it's making higher lows, and it's reaching, and I'm just waiting again. This whole entire time I'm looking at the level 2. I'm not looking at anything else. I'm just looking at the level 2. You can see the MACD has already crossed over. The RSI is quite high. It's reached below 70 now, but I'm waiting for that, and the level 2 is just saying yes. So this is the only reason why I've stayed in. There's so much buying power, and it rips. It rips, and it just doesn't stop. So at this point, I'm just holding on, but it just doesn't. It just carries on going. Plus a little pullback, but there's so much buying power that it can't sell off. So it just keeps on selling, and I sold. What, $417.60, and it actually goes up and starts and stops and halts now. But it got after the halt, it goes back up to $12 a share. So overall, I am quite happy with that last trade, especially on the 26th, because even though I could have made more after the halt, it went up to $12.70. I just didn't know what it would happen after the halt. I actually sold just before the halt. And then actually, 13 minutes later or something like that, it went all the way back down to $6. So I am very, very happy with what I did there. Everything just kind of played out, the support lines, the resistance line, reading the level 2, buying in at the correct point, holding at the correct point, selling at the correct point. I just felt like this week was a very, very good 2 days worth of trading. Thank you again for joining us, and I hope that you all have a successful week ahead. Goodbye.